way because I know I posted a video prior to this Ravana build slash gameplay. That was supposed to be gameplay. That was a typo on my bed. Now this is my personal build that me and my clan leader worked on, and it actually is relatively good. But you have to do good early game. You have to play very passive. So let's get this underway. So the first thing you always want to start out with. What the hell? Oh right, duh. All right, first thing you always want to start out with is Mark of the Vanguard, because it pretty much reduces all damage taken, so that's physical and magical, and you know that's very good early game because you want to stay in the fight a lot longer. Then first boots, 4 potions of green of health potions and 4 multi potions, so that'll keep you in the fight longer. And what I personally like to start out with is his square, the palms, I don't know what it's called, Piranha Onslaught, because normally that does damage. Also it slows the enemy, so, and it can help with lane clear. So I'll show you. Now I'm just shrugging off hits, as you can tell, and it doesn't do much damage at first, but by late game you're probably going to be ending guys pretty quickly. So yeah. And just so you know, the 30 kills, that was me just practicing, because I was experimenting with him. I found a build that can work, but it's very risky. Then once you have enough gold from staying in lane, I would advise you would go with Ninja Tabby, only for the fact of the attack speed, because he attacks relatively slow. So that's just me. Then you would build into Transcendence, and then it makes all the difference, trust me, because he's very mana hungry. He doesn't have that much mana, so yeah. I'm sorry, this is like my first actual build video. I know it's not that great so far. I'm trying here. I know I haven't been on a lot because I've been dealing with a lot of stuff, and project's coming along really well. Probably going to do a lore video this Saturday just to catch everybody up, because we added a lot of things and it's not what it used to be. Okay, now once you have Transcendence,
the best defense is a good
which you're going to be in lane for a while, but you're going to have to go back every now and again to get potions. So now the next thing I would suggest you work for is Jontun's Wrath, for the cooldown and pen, because I was playing ranked last night. We did so well early game, and I was going up against Chalk, one of the douchebags that can heal himself. So see, look, now it's like becoming much easier to end Ra now, just gain levels, and now that the Transcendence is filling up, he's having more mana, for those of you who don't know what it does, and it makes a huge difference late game. Let's just speed this up. And for those of you guys who have played Ravana but don't really understand what his abilities do, I would suggest trying to read them over again and try to understand. But just try to always get the basics, and then you see when you play him more, he gets better. So the Piranha Onslaught, Ravana throws a powerful punch, projecting his Piranha with it to damage and slow all enemies in front of him. So it's the cone shape. Makes a difference. Overhead kick makes you crowd control immune, but say you're going up against the Kumba and he pounds you into the ground, you can do that, get out of it. And if you see him running up towards you and you see him do the sleep thing, pop this, not affected. But it's only for while you're in the air, and they cannot get you while you're casting it. So if Loki tries to do his little backstab, he ain't gonna get it, because crowd control. Now his His third move, 10-hand Shadow Fist, is the most useful ability in his kit. Because when he launches his fists, and as it goes through minions, you get healed for every minion. So that's pretty damn good and gives him the high sustain he needs for, early game to mid game until you have full build. So also when it hits an enemy god, they're rooted. So that just, they're like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Because everybody always forgets that he has a root, and no one ever gets purification, or whatchamacallit. I know there's another item that does it. I don't know off the top of my head. And his Mystic Rush, it's a very risky move, but it can end people if you time it right. Like, if you saw my previous video, I kept using this to just ground and pound Nuwa. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a very good ability, but it's very, very situational at times. Like, if you see like a dogfight going on and you use it, that affects everybody. But you'll probably get the kill. But the downside is, and like, okay, say you're going back into right into a dogfight, you kill Loki, and then you got Chalk, Isis, I don't know, Thor, Kumba, and whatever. So they're gonna do 100% more, like they're gonna do full damage to you while everyone else does 50. So for anyone that knows Ravana, this is very, very, you have to be precise with this, and it can make the difference. If you want to watch, go watch my previous video, and I do have a new video I saved from last night because me and my friends were playing. Let's just say they had 3 mages, 2 assassins, and one of them sucked pretty bad. Fed me the entire time, but whatever. So now you understand his, and his passive, when you fill up, it's Chain of Blows. Whenever you fill up the little radical in the lower left corner, you gain a little bit of like an overshield. It gives you some bonus protections, and it adds on to your health. But you have to fill it up at least 8 times with 8 basics. And if you do your square, the palm, that also adds it up as well. And so does the root, the 10-hand Shadow Fist. So now, what I would like to do, I would normally go for Executioner, because you lower their physical protections and it gives you attack speed, so you're pretty much going to be wiping the floor with mages if they can't get a hit on you. And you're going to be making yourself a nuisance for all the warriors that are going to be in the game. Next is Hide of the Urchin. You should get this early, but if you're going to be playing, aggressive, you can get it at the end and then just feed off of whoever's there. And if you're in the area to get the assist, you also get the stacks. So this is one of the more annoying items to get, but it definitely pays off in the end once the stacks start to build. Now, the last thing I would suggest you get is you would sell Mark of the Vanguard. This is totally up to you guys. You can either go with Bulwark of Hope to give him a shit ton of health, plus, when you're in a dogfight and it gets out of hand and you're trying to run, this will most likely save your ass. Sorry. Or you can go with, where is it? The Stone of Gaia, because that heals you over time. So, that can come in handy as well in a dogfight. So, yeah. But personally, I would either go with Bulwark or Mantle of Discord, because, that's just being the sickest tank with some really good offense. Like, this is my solo build, so I'll show you how much damage you can actually put out with this. But first, let me fill up my Transcendence. Okay, that's gonna be a little annoying. So yeah. And this should be coming in right now. Lane clear. And see? If you look at Ravana's health bar, That little blue is the little blue section is just extra protections, makes a difference. Also, just rule of note: if you're going solo lane, I strongly advise you get the freaking mana buff, because that makes a huge difference. Also gives a little bit extra cooldown on top of it. So, you know, like, this is great to get until you get Transcendence. Then you can, you know, just get a regular potion, and just go from there. And you just eat these hits like a champ. There you go. Now, you know, just focus the minions until, you know, you get to a decent level. And just another rule that I always follow that usually wins me games with Ravana, since I started playing him very recently. I got him in Mastery 2. If you're in solo lane and you're getting double teamed, hang back towards tower, because they'll try to bum rush you. Then when the assassin jumps in, do your circle to pin them in, and they're getting attacked by you, the minions, and the tower. So you're guaranteed that kill. If it's a warrior, you're gonna have to lower them in, and it's gonna be very annoying to try to, you know, get the kill, because, you know, warriors are just well rounded. All right, now here's my jungle build for Ravana. Okay, for the starter items, I would suggest you either go with Death Toll or Bluestone Pendant. Bluestone Pendant, whenever you use a damaging ability, you do an additional 30% physical damage. 30 physical damage over 2 seconds, which is actually very good. And, you know, just with his kit, it's phenomenal. Then once you have that, you go into Ninja Tabby again. You go into Void Shield, because that lowers all enemies' physical protections by 55. So that's, you know, very good. And when you're jungling and you just go, you jump in, they're going to be taking more damage throughout the whole thing. So you go Johnson's Wrath. You go Bulwark. And where is it? Attack speed. Nope. Here we go. Fatalis. Only because, you know, it's very good. Like, once you start hitting the enemies and they're trying to run away, you know, you're just right there with them. And the last item is Frostbound.
The best defense is a good offense.
Let me explain. Frostbound, well, whenever you're hitting them, they're slowed, and you have Fatalis, so you're staying right up there with them. It's pretty straightforward. So now, what you want, like, the basic strategy for him is to ult, roots, square, the palm, and finish with the kick. That's usually what it is, but you have to build up the stuff as you go with it. So, you know, this is just a build to go in, get out, and you can hold lane for a little while. It depends on who the person is and who you're going up against. So you can swap out Fatalis for, you know, say Executioner or Transcendence. That's just me. And my support build is as follows. You start out with Mark of the Vanguard, like you normally would solo lane, but instead of building into, you know, Transcendence or anything like that, you go Reinforced Greaves, so you have the CC. You get Bulwark. You get Sovereign. I just call it Sovereign because I can't say I have a minor speech impediment. So this adds on to how much health you have in general. Stone of Gaia, Gauntlet of Thieves. Then you just slowly start building into Emperor's Armor. And you're just a literal walking tank. You're almost as tanky as Ymir. And you're just shrugging off hits like they're nothing. So now you can do damage, which is good, because, you know, you still have the root. You're just shrugging these hits off like they're nothing. You're a walking tank, which is fantastic. and you could just rush in. You have the CC immunity, which is fantastic. Then on top of that, his passive builds up his protections, so that's pretty damn good. And if the enemy is getting away, you can still always run in, do your ult. Boom. So I hope this build helps you guys. You can try whichever one you want, but always remember, in the beginning, early game aggression is not good. But if you know if you know you have the chance to get the kill, do it, but you have to time your abilities right. So say, okay, like if you get lucky as me going against Nuwa, she has no freaking defenses. So you root, you do the fist, then you do the kick, and then if she's in tower and you have ult, just kill her right then and there. So I hope this build helps. I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one, guys.